Welcome back to the Terror Zone podcast. Here we go. We got Mike the Bulldoze on this episode, obviously from the band Bulldoze. From another band, Train of Thought and Homicidal. He's currently in Hold My Own. He's a bad motherfucker from New Jersey, hell of a guy. Very cool to finally talk to. Just find him, super interesting as a guitarist and a figure in New Jersey, New York hardcore, and now he's part of the Hold My Own show, which is a fantastic addition with all those crazy characters in that band. Shout out to everybody and every band he's in. Real quick, want to touch on a couple things. Want to say big props to everybody at 313 Day last week. It was great turnout, lots of people. All the bands did very well, and lots of new faces in the crowd, so that was good. I made 13 pizzas for Friday the 13th on 313 Day. As I said, it'll never happen again, so if you were there, good for you. And if you weren't, you can have pizza next time, but I'm just saying that specific 313 Day on Friday the 13th. And I make 13 pizzas. It may never happen again. It's a big deal. Anyway, shout out to the bands, everybody who put this shit on. Lyric, he's in D Block and does the DHC Network podcast. That's a good one. Check it out. The Tied Down pre-show was released. Huge fucking lineup. 100 Demons, Rotting Out, and a bunch of other bands. Gotta give respect. Tied Down and everybody that is part of it, because the pre-show is fucking awesome. The second one, the first one's dope too, with Youth of Today and all that stuff at Edgeman, absolutely crazy. But pre-show number 2 is Rotting Out, 100 Demons, Division of Mind, fucking C4. Cannot wait to finally see them doing the new album. I've seen them a couple times before, but this album just, for me, just like took them to a whole other level. So whatever. We got COA, The Killer, Sin Against Sin, and there's a local band to be announced. I don't know who it'll be, but with all that being said, that's gonna be a sick motherfucking show. They didn't say it was sold out yet, but it has to be extremely close. So if you like that lineup, then you should probably get your ticket. Once again, 100 Demons, Rotting Out, Division of Mind, C4, COA, The Killer, Sin Against Sin, and the, local to be announced. Anyways, shout out to them. Today is Thursday, so I think this is also when Hold My Own new music video drops, and pre-orders probably for merch. I'm assuming a vinyl. I know they have new stuff coming out. I don't even think we really... Yeah, we went over a little bit, but I remember Mike he's like, I'm not exactly sure, so here's my half-ass informational attempt. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I was happy to have Mike on. Happy to talk to him about especially Bulldoze and Train of Thought and his other bands, Homicidal. I can't remember at the other moment. He had another COVID side project. But what I found interesting, just to put a one fact out there, that the original Bulldoze, it's all the original members now, but the people who started the band, they did the demo, they recorded that, they had done a whole bunch of awesome shows, and had broken up, all before most of the band was out of high school. Which, that's a crazy fact. That's just fucking nuts. But I'm glad they're still doing shows. I'm glad they're around. Rest in peace, Big Kevin. Kev1. I'm sure he would have been a hell of a guy to be around. We talked probably super intense, but with the band Bulldoze and all the stories of him, it was cool to hear first-hand perspective of being around somebody like Kev1, because you just think of fucking crazy ass hardcore people. And, for better or for worse, he was a great friend to a lot of people. And shout out to him. Rest in peace, Kevin. And thanks for checking out the episode. Mike the Bulldoze on the podcast finally. Thank you for doing this, man.
Oh, absolutely. Anytime.
It's we've talked about it for probably at least a year now, going back and forth, but shit always gets in the way, no big deal. But I'm glad we finally are making the time to do it, especially, to me, it seems like Bulldoze, in my opinion, I don't know, it seems everybody is all over you guys, as of lately, since you guys came back and did the FYA show. You guys have been on a run doing a lot of cool shows and shit. Is that, are you surprised, or are you happy that you guys are finally active and doing shit?
Yeah, no, I'm really happy that, that people at least, like the music, which, for a long time, after Bulldoze broke up, I never really thought about it much, because the other bands I was in were just kind of the focus. And I always actually felt that I always liked the music a lot more with the later projects. And so I kind of, for a long time, just kind of thought Bulldoze was just in the rear view mirror, and it kind of seemed like that for a while, but I don't know, but it was always there. It never was really forgotten. And when we came back, there was a lot more fans than I thought there were, honestly. So that was a really big surprise. So, I'm happy to be doing it again. And I'm definitely happy that, people enjoy it. It kind of makes me proud of the work that we did, honestly. So it's really cool. It's just really cool to feel that way, and have people actually talk to us and tell us that they enjoy the music.
I feel that, man. And a lot of people can look back, on some of the early videos you can find on YouTube and shit, and see it actually was like Kev One. It's like you don't really get the full experience probably without you guys do what you do. But there are a lot of people say it was a different thing when he was fronting the band.
Yeah. Also, during the time frame that we were active, this was the early to mid '90s. The hardcore scene was definitely, just a much more dangerous place. There was just a lot more felons around in the scene, in the crowd. A lot of felons, just beating people up in the pit, which it kind of was just kind of how things were back then.
Yeah, this is the era, and when hardcore, not necessarily was hardcore, but it was hardcore.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of sounds funny saying it now because it's because it wasn't really like that all the time. There were some shows that were just just like now. It's some shows were amazing. Some shows were just absolutely just you were just part of history being at that show. And other shows were just a complete mess with violence. And so you never really knew what you were getting sometimes.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, look, you guys are still doing your thing. Am I wrong, or did you guys not play at AMH too, with Biohazard? Were you guys on that show or no? Or was it?
Yeah. We played. That was this Saturday. This past Saturday. Yeah. This weekend.
Well, that's a fucking legendary show in its own. After all those bands that were on that bill to come back and play, especially at AMH in such a small, well-known, venue, especially on Long Island, and jam everybody in there like it's fucking 1997.
No, it definitely felt like an old school kind of show that. Nothing went wrong. There was nothing crazy. But yeah, it was like a really good show. I mean, every band killed it. I mean, it was just really a great show.
Nice. Did it feel like you went back in time, or was it just that you felt new and improved and just something cool going on? Was there any a nostalgia with the lineup and shit, or were you just happy to be there?
I would say kind of both. You know what I mean? A lot of the bands I played have been around for a long time, and so there's definitely a little bit of like if you've seen a band like 20 years ago and you see them again today and they're like even better today, it's definitely interesting kind of feeling, but it's definitely like all the bands are just so much more because like some of the bands when I first saw them, like they were just young people, feeling out what riffs to play, kind of how crowds respond. So that was like the '90s version of bands, including Bulldoze and all our projects. Like when you're new, you're just kind of writing songs that you think the crowd will respond well to, because really is hardcore is a crowd participation sort of a subculture, I guess. If the crowd isn't going crazy, if the crowd isn't singing along, if the crowd isn't jumping on stage or grabbing the mic, it kind of feels like you're doing something wrong as a musician. So I think like a lot of bands in the '90s, they were trying to figure out where they're trying to find like the formula that works for them. But 20 years later, like now, you see these bands. I mean, like they basically they've perfected their craft, and you're seeing like people who are just on top of their game, and that's all the bands like that were on the bill. I mean, they're just everybody's just a master of their craft, and so that is kind of different than say 20 years ago. Not to say that they weren't masters of the craft then, but there's a certain polish that 20 years gives you. That's I think it just takes time to get that kind of polish. I think.
I mean, yeah, people don't mind hearing the same songs over and over again. So obviously doing something right still, and then even live, it's just still if you get the participation, like you said, then. That's all you really need is some fucking loud music and people punch each other in the face. And then, you have a good mixture of, I don't know, happiness. I don't know. It's awesome.
No, there's definitely, it's like one thing that I've always kind of felt that was unique to hardcore, at least that this was the case back when like the real crazy dancing was really kind of like within the hardcore space. Was like you feel like you're in danger when you're right up there in the front. I mean, like there's no mistake in it. Like you are in danger, and then when you survive, or if you make it out without like really any like real serious injuries, it's like you feel like you've cheated death or something. You know what I mean? And so I think that there's that aspect of it too, which is really interesting. But now I think now we're seeing like moshing kind of start happening in different music styles. I don't know if it's still the same though, because like you still have a sense of community within the hardcore scene, and I don't know if that really exists in these other scenes. Like I know like some of these rap stars have like moshing at their shows, but I don't know. It seems like people just want to hurt other people, not really necessarily the community aspect is doesn't seem it's there. But I don't know. I'm not really an expert in what's going on in the different scenes. Like what was it, Travis Scott, or is that where the people are moshing now?
Yeah. I think they like stage dive and mosh and shit to him.
Which cool. I mean, I'm not hating on it. I just don't know if it's if they share the same sort of small subculture
I doubt
community.
it.
Yeah, I doubt it too. But I don't know.
Trying to beat around that, fuck that. It's not. Nothing's the same. Nothing compares, man. You can't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe I'm being a little too diplomatic, but
yeah, trying to watch it like, fuck that. They go home and don't think about who they were hanging out with. They like, I went to a concert, and and when you go to a show like with your family and those people, it's not a family. It's a fucking once or twice a year thing for those big shows anyway. And it's like you don't walk in the door and hug 50 people at your Travis Scott show or whatever, unless you're the bouncer or something. I don't know, but
yeah, that's probably rare.
Yeah, they're not that lucky to have such a cool community of friends and shit like that. No,
it's definitely true. It's like the last few shows I've been to, it really seemed like there was like a lot of people just making it through the crowd to get to the stage area. Took like 45 minutes of just saying, hi and hugging people and, catching up with people as you make your way through the venue.
Dude, it's
And
so cool.
that's cool. Yeah, it is cool.
It is.
And to the people, I should say, the people that doesn't happen to you, just keep them coming to shows. Eventually, that will be happening to you.
Yeah.
The first few times you go to a show and you don't know anybody. Yeah, I mean, who are you going to talk to, right? But after just going to show after show after show, all of a sudden you're like friends with everybody in the room, and that's kind of how it goes. So for the newer people in the scene, if it's not taking you 45 minutes to walk through the crowd, just keep coming. Eventually it will.
Yeah, it happens pretty quick as long as you're not an asshole, Like
yeah.
like you just show up, keep showing up. That's what I tell people too. Or like, oh, I like going to shows, but I don't have any friends, or I want to start a band, but I don't know anybody. It's like, look, brother or sister, give it 3-6 months. You go to as many shows, nod your head at somebody who looks interesting, and just mind your P's and Q's, and eventually start
just
a band.
Be cool. Yeah. It's easy. Just be cool. That's it. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be an asshole. Shit, man. But yeah, I mean, so let's go back just a little bit. I know you've done a few podcasts where you kind of broke down your history of getting into music and guitar and shit. Especially finding like hardcore and you playing guitar. Could you just like a brief thing where you started? Your first couple of shows you went to, and where at as well.
Yeah. So what happened with me getting into playing guitar was the area that I grew up in when I was really young. It was a really big hip hop scene. Like it was in Irvington, New Jersey, which is like right next to Newark, New Jersey, and it was kind of like the hip hop mecca, or it sure seemed like it. In New Jersey, like that area. You got the Oranges there as well, right next to Irvington and Newark. That's where a lot of rappers came from, and still to this day, still a lot of rappers are from that area, and so I didn't really. All I knew at that point was just like hip hop and stuff like that, like like Run DMC, Fat Boys. That was like really what I was into at a young age, and my cousin.
Sorry to cut. What year was that about?
That had to be like 84, 85,
okay,
something like that. It was like mid 80s. And my cousin, Chris, who was the drummer for Bulldoze, he was always into like rock music, he was never, he liked, I guess he liked rap too. Like everybody was kind of into it at that point. But he always liked rock music too. And I just never understood why he liked it, because knowing now, looking back at it, is because I had no idea, what it was. I just, just everybody kind of wasn't into it. So I was kind of just following the crowd. So, I think I was like at a flea market or garage sale or yard sale or whatever. And somebody was selling, audio tapes for like $1. And, so I was like, let me be a nice cousin and, buy my cousin, some like rock, tapes. One of the tapes was the, first Iron Maiden, album, and I just rented a car because I was kind of done, and my mother, I was with my mother, and she was like looking at clothes and stuff that I just really didn't feel like being there to watch. So I went to the car, and I was like, I was gonna just listen to the radio while I waited for her. So I'm looking at this tape with Eddie on the cover, like the zombie. And I just remember thinking to myself, I was like, how the fuck does anybody like this fucking devil shit? Because that was just the mindset, right? Of that community towards like metal or whatever.
Yeah.
So I popped the tape in, and the tape just happened to be queued up to the song Transylvania. For those who don't know, Transylvania is like it's an instrumental, where it's just like guitars and there's no singing or anything like that. And I remember I just listened to it, and I was like, wow, this sounds really, really kind of cool. So I just sat in the car, just hitting rewind, play, just like listening to it. And I don't know, there's something about it just really, like, it was just something I've never heard before. Like my mind was completely blown away. And I remember I asked Chris, I was like, what is that exactly? Like, what are they doing? He said, oh, well, that's guitars. You're hearing guitars. And I was like, man, I want to do that, like why not? I mean, this is like so cool. So I asked my parents for a guitar. They laughed at me, because I wanted a guitar. And I kept asking for a guitar, and my parents kept laughing at me. And then for Christmas, Chris, my cousin, the drummer for Bulldoze,
Yes.
he gave me a guitar for Christmas. And that's basically what started my path down playing guitar. And but early on, I was like into metal. That's kind of where I got my entry, like Metallica, Iron Maiden, things like that. Eventually moved into like Slayer. Then harder stuff like Cannibal Corpse, Napalm Death, like Harmony Corruption is still my shit till this day. Napalm Death, that was a great fucking album. But then I learned hardcore. Learned about hardcore, and I was really kind of digging it. Somewhere around that time. Well, so I think I got the guitar for Christmas from my cousin when I was like in 5th grade.
Damn.
By 7th grade, I was already like trying to do a band. And another thing I should mention is in Irvington, where most people liked hip hop, there was only like about like 4 or 5 people in the whole entire town that liked like metal or anything heavy like that. So we all knew each other because there were so few of us.
Mm-hmm. So
within my school, I knew like all the metalheads. There was like 3 of them, 4 of them in my school. And so and one of the guys was Puda, who was the bass player, who ended up becoming the bass player for Bulldoze. And that we knew this one guy who played guitar like next town over, because just like I said, we all just knew each other, and that was Zach, who and was the other guitarist for Bulldoze. And my cousin Chris just happened to play drums, and he's the guy that got me into basically heavy stuff. He's the guy that got me my my first guitar, and he just happens to be a drummer. So just by 7th grade, we're all just like, hey, we're all playing instruments. We all kind of got we're all just the right instruments to do a band. So we were just like, let's do a band. So we started a band, and that first band was called Retribution. And at that point, we started going to shows. Like I think one of the first shows I went to, I won tickets off the radio station WSOU in New Jersey. I won tickets to go see a show in New York City. I couldn't get there because I didn't I was too young to drive. So I asked my cousin Chris if he could drive me, because he had a car by that point. And so me and him both went. So the first show was, the bill was Biohazard, Life of Agony, Typo Negative, and Overkill was the headliner.
Jesus.
Yeah, that was 91. And I remember I was scared for my life. I mean, I was like like a good little dumb little kid. I wanted to be up front, right? Like, because I thought that's what you do.
Yeah, of course. You want to be in front of the band.
Yeah, and I wasn't aware of like what the hardcore was yet.
Your head stomped on in the first fucking chord.
Yeah. I remember just being scared for my life. I was like, what the fuck is everybody doing? Like, why are they all like beating each other up? And it was just a violent show. Oh, yeah. It was at the Ritz. But it was a great show. It was actually really, really cool. I remember when I walked out of there, I was like amazed that I made it out of there in one piece. But then after that, I think like the next show I went to was at the cricket club in Irvington. I think it was Leeway. I think like the Desperate Measures had just come out. This is also like maybe like 91. I think I went and saw Monkey Pup as well. I think I started going to see Dog Eat Dog as well right around the time, like 91, 92. And they were just like such an amazing hardcore band, in the early 90s. I mean, they really were such an amazing band. I mean, they still are, but they were amazing in the 90s for sure. For the hard in the hardcore realm,
right?
Yeah. So basically, at this point, like we had a band, and we started basically we were called Retribution. And we were a 4-piece. Our bass player, Puda, he was singing and he was playing bass. And essentially, he decided he didn't want to play bass. I mean, sorry, he didn't want to sing anymore. He just wanted to play bass. So at that point, we were like getting invited to go to like like biohazard video shoots and whatnot, because we were like really we were in mix at that point. We were like going to the shows.
Oh yeah.
Just every weekend we were going at shows, and to the point that I had earlier, like we just kept showing up, and as we just kept showing up, we were just making more friends and more friends. Like one of the first friends we made was with the guys with the New Jersey Bloodline, and they introduced us to the guys from Strength 691. And that's and then we just started meeting more people through the different bands, because at that point we were in a band. Now we were playing Studio One, Pipeline, and so we just knew the right. I guess we just ended up knowing the right people at the right time, and so we got invited to go to a Biohazard Punishment video shoot. And right at the time was when Puda didn't want to sing anymore. So while Chris is the one that went to the video shoot, because it was during our school day, and the rest of us were like like in 8th grade or something, and we couldn't go.
Damn, that's so cool though. Just to be invited, that's a legendary video, on the bridge and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, that's fun.
And so while at the video shoot, I think Kevin was saying that he's looking for a band, he wants to sing for a band, and Chris was like, I actually we're looking for a singer. So Kevin was like, okay, let's do it. So he joined the band, and he didn't want to be called Retribution, because that was a Biohazard song. So we changed our name to Bulldoze, and that was how Bulldoze started. And at that point, we just started playing more and more shows, and meeting more people, and going to shows, because we were always just going to shows no matter what. And at that point, we were just getting invited. People were putting us on a list to go to shows, which was really cool. Because plus we were broke, like 8th, 9th graders at that point. We had, we were just like starting high school. We had no money, so we were getting in. So that's basically, well, I should also mention too, is like right around the time I was making that transition to so our first band, Retribution, like we first started, it was more of a thrash band with like heavy stuff. And we started then just kind of, we played our first show, and I remember this distinctly. Other members in the band don't seem to have the memory I do, or maybe I'm completely getting this wrong. But I remember we played our first show, and we were like basically like a thrash band at that point, and nobody was really moving. Then I think some hardcore band played, and the crowd just started really going crazy. And I remember thinking like, I don't think this thrash is gonna really fucking pan out. It's gonna have to try to make some hardcore songs. So we started kind of converting some of the songs like hardcore, like more like hardcore songs. And the key thing is like I came from like the death metal sort of realm at that point. I was like deep into like Cannibal Corpse, Entombed, whatever the other bands, like early 90s. Obituary. But I came from that world. Like I didn't come from a hardcore world. So when I was writing songs, like I was guessing what a hardcore song would sound like. So I heard, a little bit of, like I heard Leeway, Biohazard. So I kind of had an idea of what a hardcore song sounds like, but I had no history with really listening to hardcore at that point. I was new to hardcore. So, but the history that I had was like the death metal stuff. So, just a lot of songs were really like I didn't know it at the time, but looking back at it now, it's like a lot of it was like crossover riffs. They weren't really, we didn't really follow any hardcore, established, tropes or whatever you want to call it, of like how a song should go. We were like kind of mixing like, heavy, crunchy, and I particularly like the slow death metal kind of stuff, like the breakdowns and death metal. So we were just like kind of combining that into songs. So, like not really knowing what we were doing. So we were just, totally new to it. And, it worked. And one of the things, too, that we, really were trying to do was like slow stuff down. Cause everything was like fast. So, like back then, like a lot of stuff was fast, like on that punk level, of fast stuff.
Sure.
So we just, wanted to just, slow stuff down, then go slower and slower. And I don't know. It seemed obvious to us that was, kind of what to do, but I don't know. A lot of people thought that was an interesting, new sound. So
yeah, it was like an innovative thing, man. But it's fucking,
yeah.
It's so hard. It's so crazy. Now, let me ask you this, because this might sound weird, just like me being on the outside of Young. When you think about like Bulldoze the band and all the lore and all the shit you hear behind like Kev One and shit like that, was he? Because I'd like, just as you guys being what you did in New Jersey, was gonna say like Cold as Life, what they did in Detroit with like Ron Beauty, the original singer, how he was like, like not easy to be around. He was kind of like a tough guy. Is that how Kev really was too?
Yeah. Yeah, no.
No. I just hear.
I've heard
hard to
Kev,
deal with, or was he a good friend when he's your friend?
I've heard
not
that
personal, but
yeah, no, I've heard that Kev and Ron were basically cut from the same cloth.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Like Kevin was. I mean, he was probably the toughest person, the most badass person I ever. I mean, I could tell stories of shit that he did,
right.
And really nobody would believe me. It's like he would just walk into a room and just knock out 7 people, and like there's like nothing. Like the guy just it was like it's beyond. Like I've never seen anybody like that again. He was the first and last person I've ever witnessed in my life that was such a devastating striker. And he was like a big dude.
Yeah.
But he was really more like a Brock Lesnar kind of guy. He was nimble, agile, extremely quick. Like the guy can get from like one part of the room to the other part of the room like quicker than you could blink. Like the guy was like the guy moved like a lightweight, and he had super ultra weight like power.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was nuts. And yeah, and I mean, like you get him on a good day, he was super awesome.
Hell yeah.
But he was always like awesome to the people that he liked, you know what I mean? But
sure. Catch him on a bad day, it's your ass.
Yeah. Like some days, he just woke up on the wrong side of the pillow and just,
Right. You just hear things, you're like, yeah, that was a bad motherfucker. Like Kev One is he's a bad dude, and that's just cool to hear, like especially firsthand experience, you and the band with him, and must have been like, oh, here we go again some nights, like and
well, there is like one thing that's really kind of funny, and I've heard this from like big guys, that they say that because they're big dudes, there's always like people that want to start a fight with them or something like that, you know what I mean? And like I've watched Kevin just being really chill, and like the drama just came to him, like he wasn't even looking for problems, but like, and but he was also like a kind of guy that, I mean, like he was cut from a kind of cloth where it kind of made sense, when he kind of I don't really know how to really phrase it, but like he was very very well aware, like to like a very like I would say almost like a like an instinct level of respect, and people disrespecting him, and people doing something that's disrespectful. And like there's been times that somebody would like make a comment, which like me personally, I would just like kind of like, I wouldn't really think much of it, but to him, like he sensed that it was like, this person's trying to pull some kind of power move, and he would just like knock him out. Just like as soon as he said it, he'd be like, boom, they're laying on the floor. You know what I mean? And like I for a long time I wasn't really quite sure what that was about, but as I've gotten older, I've kind of realized that some people they live in a world where they have a heightened sense of boundaries, of like if people are trying to test you as in like they'll see if they can get away with like a little comment to try to see if they can take a little scoop of disrespect, whether you're going to take it or not. You know what I mean? And he had zero tolerance for that. If he felt somebody was trying to test him, then he just let he just was like, all right, and boop, and they're sleeping.
Hey,
And so he was like that was very much a thing with him, and he just had a really really zoomed in, I guess, perception of behaviors like that. You know what I mean? So like a lot of times people are standing around him and wonder like, hey, why did he just knock out 3 people? It's because from his perspective, they just did something that that walked past that line that he feels he has to or he had to respond, otherwise he'd be getting chumped.
that's a good way to put it, man. Sounds very intense, honestly. That's all.
Oh yeah. Oh no, it was very, very intense.
Yeah, holy cow. Yeah, there's not many people like him. There's some people that were in Detroit hardcore, back in the day. I can name a few, but neither here nor there. And it's like, wow, it's reasonable to them, to do what they got to do.
Yeah,
and that's all. You just got to respect it. Respect through fear. Am I right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason why that song was called that. I mean, he was
time to pay. And dude, no, that's cool. That's a cool way to portray him, just as you hear, and then you fucking laid it down into the way that I would expect it. Now, let me ask you, because obviously I have the podcast for Terror Zone. I've had a couple of people ask me in what reference that was to, and me not having a clue. Honestly, I knew who Bulldoze was and shit like that, and not even until after I started the podcast, somebody reached out in a YouTube comment. The drummer of the band Terror Zone, I believe his name was Paul.
Yeah, Paul.
Okay, yep. Yeah, and he kind of broke it down in like a comment to me that. Is it true? Like you said something about the Terror Zone was when like Kev was like moshing. Is that something in reference to where, or just anywhere around him was the Terror Zone?
Oh yeah, no, for sure. When Kevin jumped into the pit, a lot of people like ran the fuck out of there. The people who were left were people that just didn't know what was coming. Kevin was the OG crowd killer, and I mean like he'd go dancing and there'd be literally bodies laying on the floor. Like he would just be knocking people out left and right. Like he'd do the whole thing where he'd run into the crowd and do like a windmill. Like every hit would knock people out. He would just run, like he'd run side to side, and he'd run to the one side, smack, somebody falls on the floor, they're laying there. He'd run to the other side of the pit, boom, do his little backhand, whatever kind of punch and kick as people do, and he would just knock out 1-2 people, Then he'd run to the other side, knock out another, person or two, and it was literally like that. That's just what was happening, and people that knew what was coming and they were trapped in there. You saw the fear in their eyes. All eyes were on Kevin, and they were like, as soon as he came running, you had people ducking down as low as they possibly can, but then they'd probably get kicked by him. So you couldn't if you dodged the punch, you were definitely getting kicked, and like I said, he was extremely fast and extremely flexible. Like you would like a big guy like him, the way he moved. It's like you could do your best to try to get out of harm's way, but you were still going to get taken out. If you're lucky, you didn't get knocked out, but wherever he hit you, you're gonna be sore there for a few days. And so it was So when he jumped into the pit was the Terror Zone. Like everybody who knew. Absolutely, like their skin would turn, the blood would rush out of their skin. Their eyes would be bugging out of their eyes. They're like trying to elbow their way out of the pit. And if it's really like a tight sort of a perimeter where they couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw it on their face. They were like, oh shit.
That sounds so scary. And
it was.
Yeah, I said, with me not even having a fucking clue, that guy broke it down for me. I was like, all respect to,
Well, is that
fans and all that shit.
Well, is that what Paul from Terror Zone said that the Terror Zone was?
Yeah, that's what he kind of broke it down. This was maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. It was just like a comment back and forth. I don't even know what episode it was on YouTube that he commented on it, but that's kind of how he broke it down, and as short as possible. And I
mean, I'll tell you, anybody that was around when Kevin was dancing will tell you the same thing. the guy was an absolute terror in there. I mean, he is like the definitive, like, I've never seen anybody crowd kill the way he did. Like just bodies just littering the floor. And their friends trying to, like get them up and,
Fuck. Yeah. Then you get the fucking dummy who's at some, it's like a big band, and then he's out there mosh, and they try to fuck him. You push him from behind, and then he just probably turns around and off with their head. You see people who fuck around, and find out. It happens.
Yeah. Now Kevin, his like little I guess what's his like little delight that he did was going to Slayer shows and just absolutely murdering everybody in the pit.
All the metalheads, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Because back in the 80s, because Kevin was around in the 80s, there was this whole long hair, short hair thing that was it was basically like the skinheads versus like the metalheads. You know what I mean? Essentially. There was a lot of problems with those two, but by like their early mid 90s, like that all just kind of stopped being a thing. Like as of today, I mean that does not exist at all, But the remnants of it were still there in like the early mid 90s, and Kevin would once in a while be like, yeah, time to go to Slayer and fucking beat up some of these long hairs, They're like, okay.
Okay.
Once in a while he'll get in that mood, but then he ended up having long hair at some point too. So it all just but by like the late 90s that all just died. It was gone, sure. Extinct. That whole drama was finally extinct.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man. So with all the stuff you guys put out, and I know you ended up kind of dissolving and turning some songs into like train of thought songs. Is that how it went when you guys ended up starting some side projects? The Agents of Man, Train of Thought. Those are the same projects. Are you Agents of Man too, or no?
No. So I was just like the guitar tech for Agents.
Okay.
Like I didn't have anything to do with the writing process.
Okay. So anyway,
I mean, once in a while they would ask my opinion about something, but if they ever listen to what I had to say, I don't think so. But
was Train of Thought directly after, or was it like in
between?
Yeah,
Train of Thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened was yeah. So when Bulldoze broke up, Kevin went his way and did Terrorzone, and we did Train of Thought. Like we had like Hourglass was that was a Train of Thought song that was going to be a Bulldoze song. But when we were starting to do that, like by this point we were playing our instruments. I think we were still in high school. I think maybe at this point we were like, I don't know, juniors or seniors in high, probably juniors in high school. At this point we've been playing our guitars and our instruments, for some time now. We were just better musicians, or at least we thought we were better musicians. And, we kind of wanted to explore more of like the melodic side of things. Because like from our perspective, like, we knew how to do, hard stuff. We knew how to do a breakdown, and we just kind of wanted to explore like doing like more like melodic stuff and more, kind of more like things to vibe to, kind of. I'm not sure how to really explain it. Because it was kind of a mindset that we would just discuss while we're deep into multiple drinks. But the consensus was that we were going to try to do like more like melodic things and still have heavy stuff, but not really try to focus on like the heavy stuff, because we've already shown that we know how to do that. I don't know if that was the right decision or not. I don't know, but that's the decision we made. So Train of Thought didn't really have like the rawness of Bulldoze, but it was still actually pretty raw. Like when I go back and I listen to some Train of Thought stuff, like I think it's still pretty raw. Like we weren't able to turn that switch off. We did add some more melodic stuff and more like singing kind of stuff, which with and Puda, who was the original singer for Retribution, who then didn't want to sing anymore and just wanted to play his bass. Now he's back to singing in Train of Thought. And he's actually a really good singer. He's got a really, really good voice, really good range. So we were just exploring, his vocal range more as well. Like it was just a lot of experimenting, but the rawness was still there. And yeah, whatever Bulldoze stuff we had at that point, we just got absorbed into Train of Thought. Yeah, then when Train of Thought broke up, at that point we were all in college, and Zach and Puda, they wanted to do a new project, Agents of Man. They teamed up with members from a band called the Elements DEC. It was Raj, the drummer, and John D, the bass player, and Ray Fonseca, he was the guitar player. And so they just kind of combined the band Elements DEC with a Train of Thought, Bulldoze, whatever. And I just wasn't part of that. I wanted to focus on finishing college at that point. And I figured, just because it's like it was very like because I think because Train of Thought broke up while I was in college. It was just a very traumatic thing. Like for anybody that's been in a band that was very invested in a band. When the band breaks up, I mean it's very depressing. You know what I mean? Especially if like you have no control over what happened. Like you're like a bystander, which is kind of what happened. For both Bulldoze and Train of Thought, from my perspective, just a bystander being like, okay, I guess that's done, okay.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I needed some time to just, not get wrapped up in that. So I just, just stayed in college. I just focused on that. But when I finished college, I was like, all right, time to start a band again. So I started Homicidal after that. And so Homicidal was kind of doing, I was doing Homicidal in parallel with the other guys when they were in Agents of Man. But yeah, so with Agents of Man though, I think they really perfected the melody part of what Train of Thought started, and I think it's I think that they're like the musicmanship was at probably at the highest level during Agents of Man by my peers, and Ray Fonseca was also in One for One. They were like a real big New Jersey hardcore band that was right around the same time as Bulldoze in the early '90s.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, they were another absolutely great band, great New Jersey hardcore band.
I have a sorry to cut you off, but I have a poster. It used to be right here. I think it's the same on my One for One as One for One, All Out War, Blood for Blood, and Cold as Life. They played a show back in like 96, 97 or something.
Yeah.
Well, it used to be right behind me, now it's not. But anyway, sorry to cut you off.
Well, actually, on that note, so I was talking with somebody at a show. It was like a young kid. I think he was like maybe 17 or 18 years old, and he was asking me like, hey, what kind of bands were around in the '90s that that people aren't really talking about today? So I sent him the One for One demo, and he was like, yo, this is fucking great. I was like, yeah, I know. Like I wish those guys can come back and do something.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I would love to see that.
So you when you started talking about Train of Thought, what like really just I think clicked for me was, did Bulldoze begin and end before you were out of high school?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy, dude. To me, it's just like it happened to you. It's just life, but I like to think of the legacy that it left in just a couple of years and how young you guys were. Really says a lot, though, man. It was really innovative and for the time, fucking scary and awesome, and bringing a new mosh, a new sound. Especially to probably New Jersey and New York, especially with how like fast NYHC is, like a parallel scene, kinda.
Yeah.
So that's just cool. That's really, really crazy to put into my perspective. Like you guys, 30 years later, fucking still just as good as it was.
Yeah, what's funny is, I mean, we're still active. We're playing in bands. All of us are still doing our thing. Mm-hmm. And like a lot of our other projects that we've done or other music that we've written is great. Like Zach. He also plays for Scarhead. He's like written quite a few Scarhead songs.
Love Scarhead.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like it's I don't know. Maybe sometimes I wonder, were we just the the us that just happened to grow up together in Irvington, and we just happen to be the only metalheads in like, you know, a 3 mile radius that, like, you know, like what made that so special, you know, for, you know, I don't know. Were we just actually like really good? Did we just happen to just accidentally put instruments in our hands, and we just happen to actually be accidentally really good at doing stuff with instruments? You know, I don't know.
Dude, yeah, I mean, it all worked out. It must have been, you know, something worked in your guys' favor.
I'm also pretty sure plenty of people say we suck too, though. So.
Well, they're all fucking idiots. They don't know
Yeah.
shit. Fuck them. No. You know, another interesting thing about you yourself is you're a left-handed guitar player. Did that with a guitar Chris bought you? Was it left-handed, or did you?
No.
No, you had to figure that out.
Well, probably my biggest mistake was being a lefty.
Yeah, I mean, I'm lefty too, so here we go.
Yeah, so when I first got the guitar, it was a righty guitar. But I knew I was lefty because I write with my left hand, right? So I thought that maybe it's better if I play lefty. But I spent so much time learning how to play different songs righty. And when I say songs, I mean, like, you know, like stuff like Breaking the Law, you know what I mean? Or like dumb stuff. Like nothing, you know, like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, I knew how to play righty and lefty. You know what I mean?
Smoke on the Water. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, just like this, you know, because I mean, it was like really, really early into when I got my guitar. I mean, it was like probably like 5th or 6th grade time frame. And I just remember somebody told me I got it because I was learning stuff righty, then I was learning stuff lefty. You know what I mean? And somebody told me I have to pick a side. And on that day, and I remember this very clearly. On that day, I remember I knew how to play maybe 6 songs righty, and I knew how to play maybe like 9 songs or 10 songs lefty. So I didn't really want to go righty because then I'd have to like learn like 4 more songs that I already learned to play lefty. So I was afraid, well, I know like, you know, whatever, 4 more songs as a left-handed player. So I'm just going to stick with lefty. And that was the biggest mistake in my life. Biggest mistake.
Can't borrow anyone's shit.
Yeah, so the reason why, and there's 3 reasons why it was a mistake. So in those days, it was actually really hard to find a lefty guitar. They were not plentiful. Anytime I ever went to a music store, you know, to look at guitars, they always had, you know, a Fender, a Stratocaster lefty, and that was it. And at that point in time, you know, where I'm like, you know, like really into metal, like I'm looking for like a lefty, you know, BC Rich Warlock or something. Like I want like one of those cool, you know, little pointy, evil looking guitars or something cool, like, you know, even like a Kramer. Like Kramers were like a really, you know, like a hot item back then for like the metal people, and they were all righties. So me being able to find a guitar was a real hassle. Another problem that I've come across is like all my friends are musicians. I mean, I've been going to shows my whole life. Basically, my entire group of friends, my circle of friends, are musicians, and very often, you know, like one of the guitarists that I know, well, they'll have like a Les Paul that they need to get rid of, and they've told me, "Hey, listen, I'll sell you this Les Paul for like $400, right?" And like, I mean, absolute deal of a lifetime, right? And I'm like, well, I can't play it because it's righty, you know. So I can't. So many amazing deals for guitars that I could have had, I couldn't do because I couldn't play the guitar. No, I mean, I guess I could have bought them and flipped them, but I mean, that just didn't feel. I just didn't feel, you know. If somebody's like trying to sell me a guitar because they really needed the money, you know, it's like I kind of felt like, well, if I buy it, I want to use it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to, you know, like take advantage of it. So I just passed, and you know, I don't know what would ever happen to those guitars, but I would have had a much. I mean, I would have had some awesome guitars had I been righty. Another thing that happened, and this happened actually a few times to me, is so one time, so there's a Bulldoze video from one of the Black and Blue Bowls. I think it was from like 2007, 2008 Black and Blue Bowl. Bulldoze was not scheduled to play the Black and Blue Bowl, But we were all there, and Kevin was talked to whoever like, hey, we're all here. How about we do a song or two, jump on stage, special guest thing, and the Black and Blue guys were like, okay, do it. Nobody there had a lefty guitar. So, Zach and Puda, they were able to borrow somebody's bass and somebody's guitar. And so we did the song with one guitarist. And the video, if you ever see the video, you'll see me on stage watching my band play. So that was like, and it was great. It's an awesome video. But I'm like, man, like it kind of sucks watching your own band play when you're fully able to play, but just you didn't bring a guitar because you weren't supposed to.
Yeah,
and,
man.
And then there was a few times, this actually happened more than once, where something was happening, then I had to meet up with the guys because we were playing some show somewhere. So these guys would pack the van. But obviously, for whatever reason, they would forget to load my guitar. And I wouldn't realize that they forgot to pack my guitar until we got to, where we're going 6 hours later. And I'm like, hey, where's my guitar? And it turns out that they put two of Zach's guitars in versus, one of mine and one of his, right? Because, it's like the guys just, whoever was packing didn't know. So then I go on a road trip, like 6 hours away, it's like Virginia or something. I see that I don't have a guitar. And once again, I'm just watching my band play because there's no lefty guitarist anywhere. So so that happened to me a few times where guys, would forget to pack my shit, or they would swear to me. I'd get in the van, like, yo, did you guys pack my guitar? Like, yeah, I did it. I 100%. I got you. All right, cool. Then it turns out they mistook my somebody else's case for my case, and my guitar's not there. So yeah, so that if I was a righty guitarist, this never would have been a problem. None of these scenarios would have ever happened. And like I just don't know, other than us talking about me being a lefty, like I don't know what the plus side has ever been to me being lefty. I just
There's only a few of you. You can only struggle. You can compare your struggle to only a few people in this world.
Yeah. Well, but nowadays, like there are more lefties out there. So
are there?
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
I mean, there used to be like almost none. Now there's very few. So progress, I guess.
None, but now very few. That's a good way to put it. That's fucking funny. And then, after all these bands, and did you have anything in between, like Homicidal, and was there any other bands after that besides Hold My Own Now? What else was there? Or reunions here and there, and
so we always did little Bulldoze reunions here and there, but that always fell apart, sooner or later, just because it was just chaotic, just crazy. So after Homicidal, during COVID, I did a project called Zero Trust. That was kind of just trying something different. That was me and Zach were part of that. There was BJ, the singer. He was a singer for Full Scale Riot. Now he's in a band called it's Extinguish the Code.
Okay, yeah.
He used to be in a band called GMK and Ghidra way back in the day. He's a really good vocalist. And then the drummer Evan from Full Scale Riot, he plays drums. And actually, what we had too, this is actually fucking incredible, was we had the guitarist from Coheed and Cambria playing bass.
No shit.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's fucking pretty goddamn cool. Travis, yeah. He is a fucking man. He is a fucking good musician, man. Holy shit, that guy is fucking good.
That's hilarious.
So it's called Zero Trust. We had that was like our little COVID project. So we were basically just writing songs, as we were home, recording stuff and sending it, to the studio to get it kind of assembled. It was like it was really really a fun, like a remote sort of project. And we would get together, jam. We'd all have our little masks on and
yeah,
whatever. But it's whatever, you know what I mean? It's just kind of
getting together. Fuck it.
Yeah, we did. Like, fuck it, but
fuck it. That's it. But now you're part of the fucking legendary New Jersey, Chicago, trifecta or whatever you want to call it. Hold My Own, man. That's a
Hold my
cool
own, yeah.
project to be part. I
Yeah.
love all those guys. I'm glad that they've, you guys have evolved and done so much since. I think that was a COVID project too. It's just fucking going.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it started as something like a COVID project. But I joined like a little over a year ago.
Yeah. Well,
So
I mean, it's cool to see you on the stage. You're fucking, you guys are very active. You guys are about to be doing you're gonna be on tour with what, Terror?
well, we did a tour with Terror.
Yeah.
So when I first joined the band, the tour that we did was with was Terror, Haywire, it was Cro-Mags.
Yeah, with Harley, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and so that was really cool. That was actually a lot of fun.
Okay.
But now we're about to go on tour with Stuffed on Sight.
Oh yeah, that's the big one.
Yeah.
I know it was a big one.
Yeah, we're supposed to do Europe with Out of Pocket as well in May.
Nice. Yeah. Oh yeah, but then you guys just did you do just a few dates with End It when you guys came through and played at Edgemen, or was that?
Yeah. We jumped on a few. That was the End It record release tour.
Hell yes.
So we did a few days of that.
Yeah, I mean, you guys rolled through, played at. What'd you think of Edgemen when you played there? It's like a destination for some bands now.
I loved it. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
So those guys, Edgemen, they're doing incredible stuff. For the hardcore scene. I'm in New Jersey, so I don't really know, but just like looking at what they're doing, with the Tie Down Fest, all the shows they're doing, seems like they're really like, and Tie Down Fest is like really like such an amazing fest too. We played it last year with Hold My Own, and I was just constantly just impressed with just how well put together the whole entire fest was. I was really like, wow, man, these guys really fucking know what they're doing. It was really good.
Yeah, it's cool, man. They've had they've had a fucking their foot on the brake or on the gas since shit opened back up. Like 2021 or late 2021. They're just nonstop and going. They're like they've been on an ascension for 5 years. Just
well deserved. Absolutely well deserved. Those guys are doing some amazing stuff.
They are, and
I'm sometimes I'm easily impressed. Sometimes I'm not easily impressed. But I was just fucking I couldn't believe how well put together and thought out the entire Tie Down Fest was.
Yeah,
I was like, man, this is like,
man.
I tell people all the time, like, if there's only one fest you could go to, go to a few fests. Do FYA. There's like a few of them out there that are like of that. Like this is hardcore. But Tie Down is right up there. I mean, like, it's like if you've got to pick three, it's definitely going to be up there with the top three in the whole.
Yeah. Well, fuck yeah. I mean,
year.
you've been a part of a lot of them. So shit, from your experience as a musician, that's got to be that's a big thing to say, man. That's really cool. And yeah, we all appreciate it here. I just show up and have fun, but I cook food and shit for like the backing. I made a bunch of food last year. I'm doing it again this year, and that's just my whatever I can give to this scene. I make some food, do some fucking podcasts, and talk some shit, man.
Hell yeah.
We all need shit talkers, right?
Depends. Depends what you're shit talking about.
Yeah. Well, no, just talking shit with you right now. We're not talking shit, but we're talking shit. But no, and What else? I mean, for you guys, well, you're in New Jersey, so you got like Takedown Records right down the street. The Takedown, Greg and fucking Dylan. Always doing shows. You got
Hellfest, yeah.
That's insane to see that coming back, huh?
Yeah, well, I would say also, we got Philly in New York, so we got the Black and Blue Bowl. We got the This Is Hardcore.
Definitely.
So kind of maybe a little spoiled here in the tri-state area. But
Definitely. Are you going to any of the Blood for Blood shows? You gonna be around for either Philly or Brooklyn? Or you gonna be gone?
No, I wish I was, but I think we're gonna be on the road with on that Stuffed on Sight tour.
Oh yeah. Well, hey man, it's always come through to fucking Tied Down. Hey, we'll be here.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll be in Europe during that time, but if I'm not,
okay.
The thing is, I don't I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't know what's going to be happening with this Europe thing with like the current war and these gas prices and oil and all that. Like
That's definitely could play a factor here, depending on how things go. We'll just
I mean, listen, I'm concerned about it for many reasons.
yeah.
Just food and pricing and just living,
Yeah, everything's going up fast.
Yeah, I mean, the hardcore scene ain't exactly made up of, trust fund babies. You know what I mean? Like, it's a struggle, man.
Yeah.
So like there's that part of it that I'm very concerned about, and if the gas prices go up, I mean, there's economics to touring. You know what I mean? And the economics have to make sense. I mean, this just might, if the gas prices go up a lot, I mean, that's really going to fuck up everybody. The whole fucking touring fucking circuit's going to get all fucked up.
Yeah, man, it's really unfortunate because there is an economic aspect to it, and that you don't want to raise prices on a $15 show to $20 just to go around whatever, or whatever fest, like it just costs so much for everybody, and that really does suck.
Yeah, and I mean, there's definitely, people that complain about the ticket prices for shows. I mean, listen, it's a valid complaint. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Gas prices going up, tremendously is not going to fucking help that problem go away.
No, it's all really, really based on oil and fuel. How things work. So that's a motherfucker. Shit. Do you remember the first time you ever come to Detroit, or like you met people from Detroit, like Cold as Life, or I know you fucking with like Hate Inc. and shit like that. Do you remember meeting those guys, or any specific memories?
Yeah, so I've actually met the Cold as Life guys because we played with the Cold as Life guys years ago. I don't exactly remember the lineup. I don't remember who was in the band, but I think Bulldoze has actually played with Cold as Life in the past. I think I saw like a flyer for PA. I think it was like Mushmouth, Bulldoze, Cold as Life.
Holy shit!
I got to find the flyer. I don't remember exactly what it was. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it and talk at the same time.
Yes, yo. Hey, you're like an IT guy, so you have to. I know
it. Yeah. So my first time to Detroit was actually Tie Down Fest last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was actually the first time I've actually been to Detroit. But Detroit people, I've been meeting Detroit people a lot. There was one point in time where Mike Bulldoze, he moved out to Jersey.
Sure.
When he joined Agents of Man, he was in Sworn Enemy. So I was always hanging out with him, and there was always like Detroit people swinging by. Donnie Demon. I've met him, a long time ago. There's quite a few, Detroit people would kind of, would kind of stop by, say hi to Mike, and I'd meet them. At shows, I talked to people who are like from Detroit. Like Beast, Hate Inc. Beast. He'd come out to shows, and I hang out with him. He's a fucking cool dude too. And then it's just like we're just a lot of guys we would just run into and
man.
talk and just hang out and have we just all just the common thing we all have is love of the music, love of the our culture. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. And I mean, a friend of a friend, and if you're friends with my friend, then shit, we could be friends too, probably.
Essentially, essentially, yeah. It's like, and a lot of times, at least the way I operate, it's like, by default, let's be cool. You know what I mean? If unless somebody does something, or I'm kind of like, yeah, all right, I got to fucking, maybe fucking keep my distance, but but that's not to me to fuck up. You know what I mean? That's somebody's got to fucking show me that's what's up with them. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Exactly. Yeah. Right. Give everybody, your playing field, level the ground, and then it's up to them to fucking work it out.
Yeah, that's kind of how I look at it. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily the best approach, but I mean, that's kind of just been like the approach that I've been taking.
I mean, cool, dude. Fuck it. It's funny. You see a lot of those memes, like, you ever see those one? It's like, if your guitarist looks like this, you're gonna get killed in that pit, and it's like fucking like what's in it? Peter Parker, like Spider-Man. You ever see that?
Oh yeah.
And it's fucking. It's just so funny to compare it to you because you're such a You know,
Yeah,
such a
I mean,
figure.
yeah, I mean, like I've probably people have sent me that
We got to
meme
giggle about it,
a
after a
lot. I mean,
while.
I've got like,
A lot.
yeah, if I, like, I don't think I go a month without that appearing in my inbox somewhere. There's some funny ones too that I've seen. People take that and they'll like draw a goatee on, Peter Parker.
That's so
Like,
fucking
okay.
funny. No, when you see it, like you instantly know, like when you see that meme, you're like, that's. That's Mike Bulldoze.
I'm very flattered.
Yeah.
I don't really, take myself too seriously either. I'm just, I just living life, trying to have fun, have a good time. You know what I mean? I'm not really, trying to, make any claims that I've done anything extraordinary. You know what I mean? Like I'm just,
Yeah.
a dude who plays guitar and just likes writing riffs. You know what I mean?
Just an awesome dude, man. You're more than just a dude who plays
Yeah.
guitar. You're
Well,
fucking.
listen. I mean, listen. If other people want to be like, hey, that's you. I'm like, okay, all right. I'm not gonna say it's me, but if other people want to say that's me, I'm like, okay. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue. Yeah, I'm not. You're not gonna hear me arguing with you.
Oh fuck,
Like,
man.
no, that's that's somebody else. No, okay.
That's
Well, thank you. I'm flattered. Thank you.
Oh man, what what's the plans with Hold My Own? You guys, I know there's something dropping. What fucking Friday? A new song or something? Am I?
Yes. There's gonna be. I think. So for St. Patty's Day, I flew in to Chicago to do a video shoot, and I think so. The guy that's doing the videos, his name is Theo. He amazing videographer. He came out with us to Japan to take videos of our little Japan tour. And he's got a really good eye for film, I guess. I don't know, media, whatever you call it. What do we call a director nowadays? Whatever. It's not film, but whatever.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Moving pictures and music. Yeah, he's doing the video. So I think we're gonna be releasing the video. I need to find. Yeah, I need to find out. I don't know if we're releasing the video or if we're releasing the song, but I have a feeling we're probably releasing the video. So I don't know.
I don't know. I just fucking show up.
Well, I got an email about it earlier today, but I haven't had a chance to check my email yet. So I don't. I'm sure if I read the email, I'll understand everything. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's been.
Well, look,
busy.
we're gonna find out live. In case people don't know, I'm gonna go to the Hold My Own Instagram right now. Let's see if I can talk and do this at the same time and hit my pen.
I found the flyer. So it was at CC's.
Oh,
I don't
shit.
know. I don't know what year, but it was Bulldoze, Cold as Life, Denied, Not Without Remorse, and a band Implicate.
Fuck, man, that's a dope ass show, especially with Denied on it.
Yeah, Bulldoze, Cold as Life, Denied.
Yeah. What's the connection there between like Bulldoze and Denied? Like I know they covered one of your guys' songs, right? Am I wrong?
Yeah, they did. So the connection is, they're all big Bulldoze fans. They really liked that style of hardcore, which back then was just called hardcore. Nowadays I guess people call it beatdown.
Yeah, that's what they said.
Yeah, but back then it was just called hardcore or whatever. But they really liked the Bulldoze sound, and so they were talking to Kevin, and Kevin was like, "Hey, I'll put you guys out on his record label. It was Time Served Records, or I think it was. So he's the one that put their album out, and they actually also did a Bulldoze cover. They covered Truth, and so they're also like so nowadays it's like the style is beatdown style, right? But,
right.
But back then, like nobody called it that. Like, in fact, it was kind of funny about how I first learned about this whole beatdown style. I have never heard of that before. Like, it was never mentioned ever in the '90s, even like the early 2000s. I think like 2006, I was in a band practice for Homicidal. Tomoki was from Japan. He was playing. He was the guitarist. So there was like some riff that we had, and he said, "Yeah, that's cool, but let's make it more, beat down." So, and I remember I was confused. I was like, beatdown, like da 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 da. He was like, yes, but no, no to beatdown, but yes to more beatdown. And because it was like, a Japanese accent a little bit.
Okay.
So I was like, what are you talking about? So this is like a half hour, me and him, like he was saying, make the song more like beatdown, but not beatdown the song, but more beatdown. And I had no idea what he was talking about. And so it was a very confusing 30 minutes at band practice. But that's how I first, first knew that there was something like that. So then later on, I guess he sent me some kind of link talking about in the Japanese hardcore scene about, beatdown style, whatever. And I was like, oh, they're calling this beatdown now? Oh, okay, that's cool. Like, I was like, oh, that's flattering. It was like I had no idea. And I've had like some people ask me, what were my favorite beatdown bands in the '90s? And I was kind of laughed because I'm like, that was never a thing. It was just hardcore,
Yeah.
You had back then. It was like you had your old school hardcore, like the fast stuff, new school, which was like the slower stuff. Which actually, I didn't know it at the time, but early '90s, there was like a huge explosion in bands. Like Marauder. Us, Bulldoze, a lot of other bands that were like starting in that time frame, and it was just a huge explosion. And a lot of them had like slower stuff, had like more like the hip hop kind of groove kind of feel to it as well. A lot of stuff that like New York hardcore is like known for, like the real kind of like real kind of hip hop groove kind of thing going on, like a lot of snare hits and stuff, and I didn't realize at the time, but I mean, like it was called new. That stuff was called. We called it new school. Like all the newer bands were new school, where they weren't really that fast. Agnostic Front kind of stuff. Where it was like or like minor threat.
Right. Yeah. Like super fast punk type. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was called. It's a lot of times people referred. Well, in our circle, a lot of that was differentiated with the old school hardcore and new school hardcore, which is like with that generation, the bands of the new bands of the '90s, what they were doing, and the old school was like more like the '80s and stuff. But I guess like there were emo hardcore bands, like people would talk about emo hardcore back then. Like I wasn't part of that, so I never knew what bands they meant specifically back then. But I do remember people talking about emo hardcore, and there was the straight edge hardcore. But that's really it. I mean, that was really some people would say a crossover hardcore, kind of like Leeway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like Marauder to Marauder, Leeway, like they're like considered like the crossover stuff, and people would define use that label to describe it.
So playing solos and shit, then yeah.
Yeah, but that was it. I mean, that was like from what I remember, that was essentially all the distinctions of hardcore, like that everybody in my circle would use anyway.
Sure.
But nowadays I guess there's more. The branches have kind of branched out further, and I guess more labels have been created to describe certain branches of the hardcore tree. But I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
The hardcore tree. It's a big ass tree, man. It's a big old tree.
Yeah. And another thing, actually going back to the discussion of hardcore that I particularly think is really cool is like it's like, so hardcore is like a big tent, right? Because you do have like your fast, like the Gorilla Biscuits kind of punkish sort of fast stuff. You got like the oi-ish skinhead kind of stuff in there. You've got the beatdown kind of stuff. You've got like the happy kind of stuff, fast stuff. Koyo comes to mind. You know what I mean? Like really,
definitely.
like energetic and like
more poppy,
but it's good shit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then you got the bands that kind of they'd probably be really more closely aligned to being a thrash band or a death metal band, but they still have like the hardcore label.
Sure.
And a lot of people that are into hardcore like kind of like the spread. You know what I mean? I mean, some people like certain styles more than others. You know what I mean? But like I see people all the time like going crazy for like a particular band that's like like say like a straight edge fast kind of band, and then they'll be in the pit for like torture, just fucking being ignorant as fuck. You know what I mean? And you know, I just always thought that was really cool that there is like this, you know, big umbrella or big tent in hardcore that a lot of people seem to share. You know, interest in a lot of these bands that are, you know, pretty much on maybe different spectrums of the different branches of the you know, of that hardcore tree.
Not me. I'm in a foxhole with fucking Bulldoze and Death Threat and Madball.
Yeah.
I'm by myself. Nobody else can come.
Hey man, that's cool too.
No,
So-
like, I know what I like. No, I mean, I fuck with a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Just talking shit, like I said. No.
No, it's all good.
Shit. This might be a not really a weird question, but has there ever been any consideration of new Bulldoze music and material, or is that just you're just going with the flow and you know the songs everybody loves?
Yeah, so basically, like we have some ideas. We're in the studio now, practicing some ideas and trying to write stuff. There's always a problem with trying to do new stuff as a band, because you know you're always under like, you know, scrutiny of like, you know, is it good enough to, you know, be better than our past material? You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, we almost like kind of beat ourselves up with, you know, like some riffs. We're kind of like, you know, we got to make this better. Or sometimes it's just kind of like, well, I'm not sure if this song really fits the, you know, quote unquote Bulldoze, you know, air quotes feel. Then with the fact that, you know, Kevin passed away. So now it's like, you know, we're doing songs with a new vocalist. So what trying to balance all this stuff is an interesting sort of thing. But we are in the studio. We are jamming new ideas, and you know, hopefully, we all decide that this is you know, type of shit we want to put out under the Bulldoze name. So you know, stay tuned. Hopefully, you know, things pan out.
Hell yeah!
I make no promises, no guarantees, but we are actively you know, working on it.
Yeah, hey man, with those legacy songs, it is big shoes to fill. You know of anybody else, you know best, and that's just fucking really cool to hear. Honestly, you know, who would ever think, you know, you guys would have came back, and you know, and Kev would have passed, you guys would have continued to, you know, figure things out and do, you know, whatever you guys felt was right, and you know, with the fans and people who love to see it, it's, you know, I hope it's, I don't know, like everything you would want with the situation at hand when he passed away, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's really sad. I mean, it's really sad too that, you know, that he's not here to see, you know, the I guess the fruits of, you know, his labors and all of our labors. You know what I mean? He would have absolutely, you know, been absolutely just, you know, overcome with joy for as much as you know, joy can work on a complete gangster like him.
Hell yeah!
But
I'm happy. I'm happy.
He would have been happy, and yeah, and it's like, you know, it's really just you know, I really wish he would have been here to see, you know, how awesome, you know, things you know, shows have been, but you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. And that was actually another thing too, like, you know, because when we started the band, we were like, you know, like in high school and, you know, whatever. Actually, I think we were starting. I think we were starting even before high school, and like, and you know, he's always been part of that. And like, you know, you never really think about, you know, like getting that phone call that, hey, you know, this person's you know, gone. You know what I mean? Like, that's such a like a weird thing. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we're all, as we all get older, we're all going to be dealing with that more. But it was just like such a you know, eye-opening thing that it's like, you know, we're everybody's on a chopping block at this point now. You know what I mean? So fuck.
Yeah, man. Yeah, especially, you know, not to bring it up or fucking make it, you know, worse, but with you guys are like looking forward to like FYA and shit, right? That was already pretty much planned, correct? Or am I wrong?
Yeah.
And then that happened, but you guys continued to do it, which was awesome. You know, in his name, you guys had a moment of violence, you know, not a moment of silence. I mean, I almost cried when you guys did that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we had to do something. I mean, so actually, when I found out that he passed, I mean, obviously, I was like fucking, you know, heartbroken, because I mean, I really loved that fucking guy.
Of course.
You know, he was like a big brother to me. And yeah, but I mean, I kind of thought it was like, all right, like, it's fucking done then. You know what I mean? Like, it's just whatever. But the FYA guys never withdrew their offer. So we were like, well, if you guys still want us to play, I mean, and the fact that we had Puda that could just jump right in and do vocals, that was, that we were able to make that work. But yeah, I mean, they were just like, hey, I guess could still play. We were just like, oh, okay. That was cool that we were able to at least do that, and we had such a great response that we were just like, yeah, well, maybe we'll do another show. They were like, yeah, maybe we'll just do one more show, and then just I guess we're still kind of people are still asking for us to play, so that's great.
Yeah. Well, 4 years later, 3 years later now, at the
Yeah.
4 years later. Yeah, man. Yeah, I remember I came out. I think the first time I seen you guys was actually I didn't see you back in the day. I just wasn't there for it. But I came to the Black and Blue Bowl 2023, I think. That's when I first seen you guys. That's fucking awesome. And then seen you somewhere else. And then I came to that E-Town show at the Starland Ballroom. It was you guys.
Oh, yeah.
I went to that one too. And it's like, man, I got to fucking go all over the place to see Bulldoze. And I'm down for it. And
oh yeah, man. Well, thank you.
Always good experience.
I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So thank you,
dude. It's like, I don't know. I just made an effort lately. Well, the past few years, just like a lot of these bands aren't really coming, around me. They're doing reunions here and there and playing big shows. I just have to go see them because seeing all the videos from a long time ago and imagining how crazy it was. It's like, let me fucking finally get out there to see this shit, especially between like you guys and Death Threat. Like, I've seen Death Threat 4 times in 1 year just because I went all over the place to see him because I was like, who knows if it'll happen again or, you never know.
Yeah. So I had this talk with a few people before, like talking about like, what are some of my regrets, like that I've had from like the hardcore scene, like things that I've learned and what my, I guess, lessons or whatever regrets are. And one of them is actually not really, like always, whenever a band is playing again, like assuming that they'll be around again. You know what I mean? Like that there's bands that I didn't go see because I figured I'll just catch them next time around, and that was it. Like they've never played another show again. There was one time like we played my Retribution, I think it was. We played a show with Bad Brains, and like I remember something happened. I had to leave. But I was like, I'll just catch Bad Brains next time they're around. You know what I mean? That was it. They never came around again. And like to this day, I'm still like fucking kind of mad about. I'm mad about mad to myself about me being a fucking moron and having to leave. Whatever I had to do wasn't fucking important. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I think I had like a fucking exam in the morning or for fucking high school or some shit. Yeah. But whatever it was, it fucking didn't matter, like in the grand scheme of things.
Definitely. In the grand scheme, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I mean, there's been a lot of bands, like even like so for example, I have tried to go see Typo Negative whenever I could. My wife was like a big Typo, well, she's a big Pete Steele fan, but that's something else there. every girl in the '90s, every hardcore girl in the '90s was in love with Pete Steele.
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah. So I mean, yeah. Polish power, man. Polish power. And but I went and saw Typo Negative whenever I could. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But then he died, and that's it. There's no more Typo. Right? Like Leeway, right? You'll never see Leeway again. Eddie died, and that's it. It's like it's just it's done. And sometimes it's just that fragile. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the singer, right? Like there's other bands that were able to come back from the singer passing or whatnot. It's hard, but I mean it's doable. You know what I mean? But it might not be the singer.
The spirit, it's there, man.
Yeah, but it might not be the singer that's holding the project together. It might be the drummer who's the backbone of a band. It might be a guitarist. Like you never know. Like some of these people are not replaceable. and it doesn't necessarily have to be the singer. Like sometimes, like some bands, they never recover, and they never come back, and that's it. You know, if you didn't see them, and the thing is, like, you never know what band that's going to be. I mean, remember, like, Candira got into a really bad car accident on tour. I think they were all fine, but I mean, like, close to, it was a really bad accident, and they were on tour, and it's like, that was, close, like, Year the Knife, they got into a really bad,
a few years
accident,
ago.
yeah, and thankfully, everybody, was able to, recover as best as they could, as from what I understand, they're back to playing shows, but just like that too. I mean, like. One car. I mean, a lot of bands are doing like some, like long drives to, do on these tours, and it's you never fucking know, and so I always say, like, like, fucking go. Also t-shirts too. I can't tell you how many times I saw a band with a cool t-shirt where I was like, I'll just pick up next time. You know what I mean? Never saw that shirt again. It was like, or never saw the band again. Like, you never fucking know. So, like, what you're doing, you're traveling around seeing these bands that you want to go see. Listen, that's the right fucking approach, man, because you never fucking know, man.
Yeah,
you never fucking know.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to all 4 of those Blood for Blood shows on, Philly, Brooklyn, and the 2 shows in Boston. I'm like if we can even get to April, like, we're good. Like, we can get those 4 shows, I'll be happy. I don't care if I tie down. Just especially with Blood for Blood. They're fucking. Very elusive. They've been, Rob, whether he's underground or above ground, you never know when he's going back underground. So you got to catch him while he's got his head popped out like like a hedgehog or like a groundhog, No,
exactly what you're saying. I mean, like, if you don't catch him this run, who knows?
You never know.
There might not be another run, or it might be in, like, who knows when.
Sure. Yeah, and that's why I said, it could be Christmas Day or my daughter's birthday when a Blood for Blood plays the reunion, and I'm gonna be there. It could be Boston at fucking 9 a.m. Christmas Day. I'm going. I don't care. I'll be there. And thankfully, and I'm fortunate enough, and these shows are actually gonna happen. I can make shit happen, and go see them. I'm really excited. And you'll be on tour doing your own.
If I wasn't on tour, I would so be at those shows.
Yeah. Well,
but that's just how it goes sometimes, That's how the cookie crumbles.
That's how the cookie crumbles. So, I don't know, man. This is a fun conversation. Been looking forward for a long time, and I'm glad you did it. I don't think there's really anything else that we can cover here.
Well, last time when I saw you at the Coolest Life show, me and you were talking about Sprite Gang.
Oh yeah, there you go. Let's talk about the Sprite
I know.
Gang.
I remember you saying that. You wanted to kind of go in depth of what that was.
Yes. Yeah. Where did it come from? I've only seen it on Instagram stories. Yeah. I don't know the what's behind it.
So essentially, it comes down to, like, the fact that alcohol has, like, this monopoly on social drinking, which I don't mind because I like to drink. So I was like, oh, let's go have a beer together. I'm there. You know what I mean? Well, let's go have a shot. Like, I mean, to me, like, that means that, when somebody offers you, like a drink, and you go chit chat over a drink or two, you know what I mean? Like, there's like, you can't really do that with water. Like, oh, hey, let's go have a glass of water. I want to chit chat with you. You know what I mean? Like water. Like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's, alcohol has that monopoly on whatever it is that social thing that you do when you drink together. Right.
Sure.
So I was hanging out with Tia Slaughter. She's a straight edge photographer. Goes to shows.
Shout out! Yeah, she's cool as hell.
Yeah. No, she is great photographer too.
You great photographer.
And yeah, she goes to a lot of shows. She documents. I personally, I really enjoy photographers at shows. I like that they're taking pictures. I like that they're taking videos. I've never really seen a photographer like no photographer has ever pissed me off. You know what I mean? So I don't know what other people have seen that they might have issues with photographers, but they don't bother me. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And Tia is somebody that's she's always like she's always taking great pictures. She's like not in anybody's way. You know what I mean? So I know some people complain about that, about not particularly her, but other photographers.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. You hear people say that either too many photographers or some that are just like in the way, like trying to get all up in it with their camera. But yeah, it's neither here nor there. But I know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm whatever that beef is. I'm just not susceptible to it. Like it doesn't bother me. I see photographers. I'm thinking that they're doing something cool. Put pictures out. The way I look at it is like, if you put out videos, pictures on social media, if they look fucking cool, it looks like the crowd is having a good time. I think that just helps the scene. That just gets more people to show up to come to shows or want to come check out, see what the fuss is all about, right? And then come to a show, and and as much as some people might want to be like gatekeep our scene from noobs or whatever. It's very important that more and more people show up, because that's what a thriving scene looks like when there's a lot of people at shows. I've lived through the era of those almost nobody going to hardcore shows, and it fucking sucked. Trust me, we don't want that.
It's boring.
Yeah, and then it's like the same three people at the show, and they all at that point they all have beef with each other, and just fucking just let's it's much better having like a lot of people like learning about the scene and enjoying it. You know what I mean? And a lot of those people that end up forming bands, because that's what you do. You come to a hardcore scene, you fucking make a zine, you make a band, make a label, run shows, be a photographer. Everybody's doing their little part, right? So that's how I view photographers. Or videographers. I think they're doing their part. You know what I mean? And we're all like little fucking cogs in this fucking scene. Hardcore scene.
Definitely, man.
But anyway, so
well put.
Yeah, so let me get back on point here. So I was talking to Tia one day, and I was like saying like, yeah, it's kind of fucking sucks that because she's straight edge. So I was like, yeah, it kind of sucks I can't go have a beer with you, because whatever, right? We're saying how then we were talking about how like beer has this fucking monopoly on like the social fucking drinking thing. So I don't know. So then we're like, yeah, well, let's go have a fucking Sprite. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking bad, right? It's bad for you. So we could go do something fucking bad, but it's actually not alcohol, right? So we just like started like drinking Sprites together, because it was like, still sugary drink and whatever, fucking calories, and still doing something fucking you shouldn't be doing, but whatever, right? Yeah. It's not alcohol. So we started doing that, and like other people were like, oh, that's pretty cool, I'll have one with you. So you had like some of the younger kids who are like clearly not 21, they could have a Sprite with us, and there was actually, so we started joking around about this whole Sprite gang thing, but then like I thought about it. I was like, this is like actually it's pretty cool, because it's a very inclusive thing. Like nobody's too cool for Sprite gang. You know what I'm saying? Like
hell yeah.
If everybody just let's so we played a show. Bulldoze played a show at the end of the year in New Jersey. This is like right a few days after Christmas, and there was a lot of straight edge kids there. There's a few drunks there, a few underage kids there. So I wanted to do a toast. So I went to the bartender. I was like, oh, listen, give me like 20 shots of Sprite. The bartender was like, what? I was like, yeah, you heard me. Just give me Sprite. No alcohol. I was like, no alcohol. Absolutely no alcohol. Just give me, like 20 shots of whatever it was, how many shots of Sprite. So everybody, the full spectrum, drunk people, straight edge people, young kids. We're all just, we all took our little shot glasses of Sprite. And all I had a little toast, welcoming in the new year, and let it be, fucking even better, hardcore year than 2025. We all had a little toast, and whatever. So that was like, people were saying like, yeah, this Sprite gang is kind of cool, because we could all just kind of do that, and it's not alcohol. You know what I mean? So
that's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, so it's kind of what that is. So it's like
a social toast when everybody's involved with their Sprite.
Yeah, although I guess diabetics kind of can't do that, so
well, they make Sprite zero sugar,
Yeah, so I gotta have a Sprite zero in there as well. But it's like it's stupid, but it's like it's very inclusive, you know what I mean? Like nobody's really left out of that, you know what I mean?
Exactly. No, that's cool though.
And it's fighting that monopolistic stranglehold that alcohol has on things like like having like a bar wide toast to something, right?
Sure.
That's kind of what Sprite Gang is about.
No, that's cool. And then it actually led me into something else that I didn't want to forget about. I don't know if somebody got this that confused with what I'm going to ask you, but did you pay like a whole bar tab at LDB or something? Or how big was your bar tab at LDB? Somebody said you had a big ass bar tab. You got stuck with the bar tab.
No. I would just fucking if I'm talking so like my bar tab was like $1,000.
Okay.
But the year
That's
but
a
the
big
year
ass bar tab.
you know actually, I've had worse. So like the FYA the year before last year 2025 FYA which was ended whatever 2024 I was there for 3 days. My bar tab was like $1,500.
Oh my god!
So yeah,
Fuck it. Hey, you had a good weekend, and you
yeah,
met
I
a lot
did.
of cool people. Fuck it.
Yeah, no. So essentially, what happened is like, so if I'm like chit chatting with people, if there's like three of us and just talking, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't have it in me to kind of be like, oh, excuse me, and walk away and come back with a beer, and and then everybody's just kind of looking at me, sip a beer or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I'm not doing that. I'm like, hey guys, want a drink? Let's go have let's go have a drink. You know what I mean? So.
Sure.
So whatever people I'm with, I'll just sometimes people buy me a drink, sometimes I buy them a drink. You know how it kind of goes.
Yeah, of course.
But then I don't know. Towards the end of the night, I was at the bar a lot, and just at some point I was just like, fuck it, I was just buying everybody beers, and I don't know.
You want a beer? You want a beer?
Yeah, I was like, yo, come on, let's all have a beer.
You're like Oprah, it happens.
You get a beer, and you get a beer. Oh, you want a shot? You get a shot. You get a shot.
Yeah.
Oh, you want wine? All right, wine for you. Wine for you.
But fuck, even sometimes it's like even at these fests, like a sticker shock on the beer. You're like, cool. You're like fucking like $14 for like a tall can of PBR. Like, no, but okay.
Well, that's what a sober person sees and thinks.
Sure, okay.
Somebody that's like like a bunch of beers in. It's just like not. It's like what? How much is a beer? Who cares? Give me 10.
Oh, it happens, but everyone's having a good time. That's fuck. You're Mike the Bull. You like to have fun, right?
Yeah, I also enjoy not drinking too. So I try to I decided that after I had that the $1,000 bar bill at LDB Fest, I was like, okay, time to go a few weeks of no drinking. So
that happens. No,
I'm like permanent Sprite. Actually, I'm permanent Diet Coke guy and permanent Sprite guy at the moment.
Nice. Hey,
so I think,
one time, actually back in January, I went on a cruise. I went on a 7-day cruise with my family, and I got the drink package, of course, and I wanted to max out every day. It's fun. So 15 drinks a day is like your maximum. I was like, yeah, no problem. Like I figured I could drink 10 beers, and you put away 5 cocktails, throughout a whole day, and I got so day 5. I was able to drink all my drinks. I was getting like beers for my wife's package and shit like that. And all of a sudden, like I felt like shit. Like the 6th day, like my immune system like went to shit. I got sick and I couldn't drink anymore. And I just remember like thinking like I think like my body thinks I'm like an alcoholic right now because I was like sweating and like uncomfortable. I was like, maybe if I have a drink, I'll feel better. And I had a drink. I felt a little better, but I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna put myself into this fucking state where I need a drink to feel better. I'm just gonna go through it. So the last 2 days of my cruise, I took it easy. I felt like shit. I laid in bed one day, all day, fucking sweating but cold. I was like, I turned myself into an alcoholic in 5 days. Like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Well, I learned my lesson. I didn't drink for probably a month after that. I was like, no way, dude. But it was a good time.
Yeah.
There we go. Like, I shouldn't drink for a while. So your LDB moment was one of those?
I mean, it was more of like, not really. It was just like I just spent more money than I should have because I had a great time, okay. But I'm kind of figuring all right. So, because I could go a long time without drinking. It does, it's like I could go months without drinking. It doesn't really bother me.
Sure.
So I was kind of like, wow, $1,000, huh? I was like, I really got to go a few weeks of not spending any money on drinking, and so I kind of feel that it just balances out. You know what I mean? So. I'm saving money, so I'm just recouping my funds. So that's kind of just really how I'm looking at it.
It funds for when you come to Detroit one time.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of figuring out when I go on tour, you know, with Hold My Own and the Stuff on Site tour. I'll probably just have some beers starting then, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's gonna be. How long you guys going on tour for? A couple weeks, or is it?
That's like a week and a half.
Okay, well, that's a long time still to be out of a regular routine. Shit, that would fuck me up, man. Like, and go back to when I went on the cruise. Like, I came home, it didn't even look like the same city. Like, I don't even know where I'm at, but this is where I live. Like, my car looked like I was like, it looks different in here. What the fuck, dude? I was confused.
Yeah. Hey, you probably drank too much.
Probably. I felt like shit, dude. Everybody got sick. Everybody. Yeah.
I guess you found your ceiling.
It was definitely fucking drinking 15 plus drinks 5 days in a row. That did it for me. I was like, I'm 38. I don't drink that often, and if I do, I'm not getting like shit faced. Like when I seen you in Brooklyn, dude, that was like the most buzz I've been in a really long time. I don't know if it was noticeable, but I was feeling.
No, I couldn't tell.
Damn, well, that's good because I was like, holy shit, I was fucked up. And I met these other people, and then like he sent me a picture. He's like, hey, yeah, this is us. I was like, I remember that now, but I didn't I wouldn't be able to recall it. So what did you do that night? No, it was funny. But
that does happen. Like sometimes, like you have a fun night of drinking. Mm-hmm. Then you remember the night, right? Or you think you do. Then somebody brings something up, like, oh yeah, that's right. Then all of a sudden, like you still remember, like there was this whole other like thing that was going on, or you totally forgot about. You're like, oh wow, how did I forget that? Okay, thanks for reminding me.
Well, yeah, that was awesome. I actually do remember that now.
Yeah. Oh, well, hold on. I ended up in a whole nother state doing what? Oh, thanks for reminding me.
That's so funny, dude.
How could I forget? Yeah, it happens.
It does. Well, I mean, we can end it on a fucking good note, man. Covered a lot, and I enjoy talking to you. You're a funny guy. You're a very talented musician, in the hardcore scene and everything you do. Like, you're funny. You're fucking cool. So just continue to do you, man, and be Mike Bulldoze. You're fucking awesome. I do appreciate it.
You.
Shout out to everybody in Bulldoze and Hold My Own and New Jersey hardcore and all that shit, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it.
And thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you again someday, and we'll
soon.
Yeah, brother. We'll catch up. I'm gonna end this right now.